This is the Crush Crowdfunding Podcast, the #1 place for people who want to launch on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. My name is Nalin, and I invite you to join me for tips, hacks, and insights to get you launched and fully funded. Hey everyone, welcome to another session of the Crush Crowdfunding Podcast. I'm really excited to have you here today and to really talk to you about crowdfunding and how you can absolutely crush your goal on Kickstarter and absolutely crush your goal on Indiegogo. Today, I wanted to make sure to talk about landing pages, which is a huge kind of topic and concept within the crowdfunding world, right? As you know, before you launch your project on crowdfunding, you have to go through a pre-launch stage. And that pre-launch stage is where you look to find people who are interested in your idea and you drive them to a landing page where you capture their information, their email address. So the question becomes, what is really a landing page and how do you make it really, really kind of like really converting? How do you make this thing convert so many people who come to your particular website? So people always ask, right? People always ask, how do these campaigns that get funded on day one, how do these campaigns that get funded on like the first hour of their crowdfunding kind of stint, how do they do it? How do they do stuff like this? One campaign I worked with, which is like a 360 AI camera, right? And they launched on Kickstarter and they funded their $25,000 Kickstarter goal in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. So just think about that for a second. 10 minutes to raise $25,000. And at the end of their 30-day campaign, they ended up raising about $189,000. So today what I wanted to do is really kind of reverse engineer how campaigns that, raise funds very quickly and raise funds very effectively on crowdfunding do it. How do you raise $25,000 in 10 minutes? And how do you just crush your crowdfunding goal on the first day, right? So what we're going to focus on today is, again, the landing pages. It's honestly the beginning of the whole entire kind of crowdfunding system, I would say. It's actually where campaigners, creators, and entrepreneurs get that permission, that really, really need permission to talk to those interested in potentially just paying money for this product, right? This is where you build a really clear, just well-designed page that gives people the opportunity to opt into this product that you've been making and that you want to launch and you want to sell. And just so when we talk about permission here, there's a lot of ways to kind of build permission and trust so that you can communicate to people continuously about this product that you're creating, about this product that you want to launch, right? Best way for crowdfunding that we found, right? There's other ways like just DMing people on social media, right? There's ways like getting in touch, like knocking people's doors, doing things like getting into newsletters and things like that. But the most kind of effective way for crowdfunding is to build a well-designed landing page and ask for that permission to communicate with them by asking them to opt in to your email list. Okay, so that's kind of a really overall view of this permission building when it comes to landing pages and the importance of a landing page, because it opens the doors to communication between you and also the person who's potentially interested in your product, so you can continue talking to them about your product throughout the cycle of this pre-launch and then kind of push them to the campaign and convert them. So what is a landing page, right? A landing page is kind of it's a specific form of a website that is deliberately created to help convert visitors to your site into email leads, right? The main goal of that landing page is to capture that email address. And with crowdfunding, we know that you have to capture an email address of someone who has that buying intent, right? The buying intent, which means that the call to action, sure, the call to action has to be like join waitlist, subscribe, but there has to be text near that subscribe button that tells people what are they getting when they actually subscribe? What kind of benefit are they getting when they actually put their email in here? And the benefit is that they either get, they get the earliest access to the best discount. That is the no-brainer call to action for crowdfunding, because that's what people are here for when they come to crowdfunding. People are here to pay a lower sum of money for early access to a product. And they're paying that lower sum of money because they're paying for that higher risk of potentially not getting the product. So think about it this way. If you want to go shop at a retail store, if you want to go shop on Amazon, if you want to go shop at all these different places, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the product, right? The product's already made, it's in hand, it's somewhere, and it can just be like put into a package and shipped off to you. There's no risk to you potentially not even getting it, except if the mail post office people kind of mess up, right? But with crowdfunding, the products aren't made yet. So for someone to pay for this 6 months or a year before the product actually is made, there's a risk to it. And so the lower price point is for that additional risk. And when it comes to crowdfunding, that's what people are looking for. So to capture someone with buying intent that's interested in your product on the landing page, the call to action has to be that, get subscribe so that you get the earliest access to the best discount you'll ever see for this particular product. And then again, join waitlist, subscribe, whatever button you want to do helps people to push people over the edge to actually subscribe, right? And the landing page that we're talking about here is just really, really crucial in that whole crowdfunding launch system, since it's the place where we just collect emails that drive success for day one. It's that connection point between advertising that gets people interested and intrigued in your idea, and the email marketing that nurtures the audience, and that Facebook group or that Discord or that Slack or whatever you want to use that nurtures people until they actually go to pre-order your product on Launchday, right? So how do you build a landing page, right? How do you build a good landing page? There's a few things I would recommend doing before actually getting into it, right? Learning the steps of building a landing page effectively will actually help you really just make it happen. The first step, kind of plan it, right? Start early and really do the research and get the positioning down. What this means is like, how are you going to talk about your product? Is this just a mug that holds water? Is it a stormtrooper mug for Star Wars fans? Is it the chalice for life elixir? Like, what do you want to say about the product when you put this on the landing page, right? Do the research, figure out what people want, and then kind of write that down and take notes of it, right? Next step is just building it. Building a great landing page that explains the product and allows you to collect emails from interested people is easy to say, but not that easy to actually do. That's why I actually created the crowdfunding starter kit to help you go through this. If you want to get it, it's crowdfundingstarterkit.com/get-starter-kit. And I'll link this down below too. But anyways, just building it, there's different tech stacks you can use. There's different software you can use. There's different ways to integrate, email capture. There's different ways to drop in video. So there's multiple different ways you can use build up this whole landing page, just depending on how you want to do it. And then launch, pressing the launch button, making sure that you're QAing it, making sure that things are actually sending, making sure that things are actually capturing and that data is being recorded. All this stuff is really important so that you're actually getting the data, right? The last thing is to promote it, right? Send traffic to the landing page by promoting in various ways, doing Facebook advertising, doing Instagram advertising, doing organic marketing, telling your local newspaper. There's so many ways to do this. Just test what works and repeat what works. And so when we're talking about the landing page itself, right, let's talk about what should be in a landing page, because a lot of people don't really know, right? A lot of people don't really know exactly what needs to be on this page to get people to convert. So imagine that you walk into a random shop on the side of the road. You go in and you find a sign that says that they sell sandwiches, and there's a step-by-step process that you need to order that sandwich, right? There are pictures of the different sandwiches and additional information of what goes into each of them. So why did I just talk about this, a sandwich shop? It's strange, right? Well, because a landing page is exactly like this landing shop experience and putting it online, right? The landing page is kind of someone's first touch point of your brand and your product. And so you have to tell people like what the brand is, what the product is, what the product does, and what benefit they'll receive from this product. Right? From a sandwich shop, you like clearly know, okay, I will get a sandwich. I will get a sandwich that I want. And I will, after eating the sandwich that I make, I will be full. And when you go in, assuming there's a brand up there, probably say Subway or something like that. But anyway, that is what should be on the landing page. You should tell people all this information because people don't buy and don't want things they don't understand. Okay? Think about that for a little bit. People don't buy things they don't understand. When was the last time you bought something that you weren't even sure how it worked or like that you even wanted, right? A lot of times when it comes to marketing, people have to understand something before they want it. Even if it's like a complicated drone, right? If it's a complicated drone, you've never had it before, you never had a drone or something before in your life, you don't buy what you don't understand. You probably do things like research into how it actually works. You probably research into the types of pictures and videos they can take. You probably do research into the types of controls that you can use before you even actually buy it because you don't buy what you don't understand. Yeah. And so when you're thinking about your landing page, make sure that you're creating something that describes what you're doing because a lot of people just won't know. They just won't know what you're making or what this product is because it's new, it's novel, it's something that hasn't been done before. When it comes to the landing page itself, right, there are a few key elements that you should really have on your landing page and everything else is kind of the cherry on top, I would say, right? The one thing to have is what we call the hero section. This is the stuff at the top of your landing page, that the first screen you see on any website, any landing page you go is called the hero section. And the vast majority of people who come to this part of your landing page, who see this on your landing page, do not scroll down. The vast majority don't. And you think people read every single line and text on a website? You might do, right? You might. I personally like scrolling through everything, but the vast majority do not scroll down past this first section. So this just means that the most important information for your product, the most concise, the most attractive, enticing information of your product should be in this first section, should be in that hero section of your landing page. The section has to be, really clear, simple, and just grab someone's attention because, you typically just have like 3 seconds to grab someone's attention and compel them to do action, like make an action or to keep reading or to subscribe, right? In this hero section, you have to have, a clear picture of the product, what it actually is, right? The product name, the positioning statement, the email capture, and just, a simple reason why people should leave you their email, right? And we talked about this a lot earlier, right? People come to crowdfunding because they want the earliest access to the most attractive price. And so make sure that that information is there for your product. And you should be able to summarize your product in a sentence or two, right? You should be able to summarize your product in a very short and concise way. People aren't expecting to read paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs in this one section. They just want to know exactly what this thing is. Oh, it's a smart water bottle that reminds me to hydrate throughout the day. Boom, right? People understand what that is. It's a ceramic mug that self heats even in the cold, right? People understand what that is. It's shoes with wheels on them so you can walk or skate. People understand what that is. So it has to be short, quippy, and really concise, right? Because people need to understand immediately in that section what the product is. So if you aren't able to explain your product in like a sentence or two, go back to the drawing board. Go and talk to people, anyone, your friends, family, random strangers on the road with a mask on. But basically just ask people, talk to people about the product and see how you can describe this product in a more and more concise way and still have it be really clear, because that is one of the most important things, to be able to talk about it to someone, explain it, and have them understand it. Because again, people don't buy what they don't understand. Let's go back to the landing page, right? You need this hero section, right? In this hero section, you need to get their email. So you have to make sure that this hero section is as effective as possible for your landing. There's other things that could potentially go on the landing page too. Just to be honest, like that first hero section, if you just have that, you can have a very effective landing page, right? That landing page can probably convert like 50% of visitors if you're able to effectively communicate what your product is, what it does, and also kind of give that really strong call to action really, really effectively in a very concise way. That can convert a lot of people on your landing page. However, a lot of products are either more complex or kind of get people to think or ask a lot of questions. So there's room to expand that landing page and make sure that you kind of write about a lot of this information too. So for example, you can go down and create a section that shows off the features of the landing page itself, right? Is this product lightweight? Is it durable? Is it portable? Like, is there UV protection? Is there batteries included? Like, whatever features there are, you can talk about it more. You can also talk about the core benefits of the product in a more like kind of expanded, detailed way. Because as you're creating this product, right, as you're creating this thing, you want to be able to tell people why their life would be changed for the better by getting it. Yeah. And when people buy things, they don't buy the features typically. They don't buy features of things. Like when you're buying a hard drive to back up your thousands or millions of photos or your information, your music or whatever, and you're buying a hard drive, you're not buying 10 terabytes. You're buying storage for the most important things in your life. So think about that. You're not buying 10 terabytes. You're buying storage for important things in your life, right? There's that safety and there's that thought of security in there. When you're buying an exercise machine, right? You're not buying the features of the actual bike itself. You're not buying that the pedals are made from super soft silicone so your feet don't hurt, right? You're not buying that. What you're buying is health. You're buying fitness. You're buying workouts that make you fit in half the time, right? You're buying those benefits and you're not buying the actual features itself. And so when you're talking about your product, make sure to approach it in the way that someone would approach solutions, right? When someone would approach a product and how the product can provide the solutions that people want. Again, people don't buy features, they buy benefits. If you want to get a hat, you're not buying a hat because the feature, there's like a little strap at the end that, makes the hat smaller or bigger. You're buying a hat that fits your head and keeps your head not wet when it's raining, right? There's all these different benefits you're buying. You're not actually buying the features of the product itself. And so when you're talking about the benefits, make sure to think about this in the perspective of the actual person potentially leaving their email address, because that is what they're looking for. They're looking for how this makes their life better. They're looking for how this is a solution to something else, to some problem they have, and a better solution than anything that's out there. So that's websites, right? That's landing pages. There's a lot of, it's easy to talk about right now, right? But there's a lot of nuances when it comes to landing pages. And one of the ways that I found it helps people create effective landing pages is seeing different examples of effective landing pages. That's why I put together a landing page swipe file in the crowdfunding resource shop on crushcrowdfunding.com. It's just crushcrowdfunding.com/resources. And there's a swipe file for landing pages there. And if you want to see different examples of very effective landing pages, ones that are converting people and grabbing emails and effectively talking about their benefits and actually helping people understand what the product does in a very concise way, make sure to go there and grab yourself a copy of the landing page swipe file. Because again, the more you see something, the more you research it, the more you see patterns emerge, the more that you see how people structure their landing pages, the more you understand how it all actually works out and how it all actually comes together. When it comes to landing pages, one of the most important things too, especially if you're running any advertising, is to make sure that your landing page is mobile friendly, right? Everyone usually designs for desktop. Everyone designs for, having this laptop screen, this desktop screen. It's like, no, it's horizontal, right? But a lot of people browse sites and browse landing pages with their mobile device because, especially if you're running advertising, if you're running Facebook ads, if you're running Instagram ads, a lot of people are going to be browsing it through their mobile device because that's the nature of ads, right? They appear when you're on Facebook as you're scrolling and walking somewhere. And if someone clicks, they want to be able to see a landing page that is made in a vertical, mobile-friendly way. So when you're designing something, when you're trying to create something, sure, like it should look nice on desktop. But the most important thing in this kind of new era of mobile devices is that it should be mobile-friendly. Mobile should come way before the actual desktop itself. It's called mobile-first design. And if you're bringing on a designer, if you're bringing on a graphic designer, if you're bringing on a developer, just make sure that they understand that you want mobile first design and you want mobile first experience for your ecosystem, for your landing page, because everyone who is going to be coming to experience this is most probably going to be on mobile. So this is a quick chat about landing pages and what you have to do, what needs to be in it, why it's so important. If you want to hear more crowdfunding actionable insights every single week, go to crushcrowdfunding.com/subscribe because I send an email every week with a lot of actionable things to do for crowdfunding. And I would love to have you join the list and would love to have you be on there with me. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Crush Crowdfunding podcast. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful in any way, be sure to leave a review so that other people will have an easier time finding this crowdfunding content. I hope that this podcast was helpful in your crowdfunding journey, and I can't wait for you to go out and crush it. Thanks for listening to the Crush Crowdfunding podcast at crushcrowdfunding.com. Tune in the same time next week for more ways to crush your launch.